Hello, welcome to the show. Thank you for your view. I appreciate you. Last time I mentioned looting saddlebags, I showed this location here. But I didn't realize that there are never any witnesses when you steal horses from the saloon at Emerald Ranch. And another thing, you can pull your horse in between this table and this barrel and loot both sides of the horse without getting kicked. So you only have to position the horse once, not twice, in order to be able to loot both sides of the horse. However, there's a big problem with Emerald Ranch, and it's really busy. And when other people seem to show up, the horses don't really seem to respawn as well as I'd like them to. Like, if another blue dot shows up on the radar, they just shut off. Respawn on them is like nil. So even though it's a really nice spot, if no one's around, I thought, maybe there's a better spot out there. And I found a better spot. I'm going to show you a better spot. This spot's killer. And in order to really say how killer it is, I went and deleted everything in my inventory, even my potent health cures, everything that horses drop out of saddlebags, and looted them until I filled up on some items. And where am I at? I'm at Twin Rocks, northwest of Armadillo. And the beautiful thing about this spot is there are 3 horses. There are numerous spots you can pull them in between and loot both sides. And I actually screw up here. Now, normally, what you want to do is you want to loot the side you're most likely to not have lined up properly first. Now, this side here, the horse can still kick me. If I would have looted that side first, the horse might not have kicked me because they often let you loot the first saddlebag. And then you go over to the more risky second side, where you're more likely to get kicked, and loot it where it's lined up better so that you can't get kicked. And this horse is a terrible example. And unfortunately, it was the beginning of my video. I should have kind of started with a different horse, but you're going to see other horses where the lineup's perfect. Okay, now there are 4 spots that I know of right in this area where you can pull a horse in and loot both sides of the horse, and the horse will be blocked from kicking you on both sides. Actually, there's 5 spots, but one of them I don't show because it's super difficult, but I'll explain it in a moment. So this is the second spot. I just showed you the first spot, which I didn't line up properly. This second spot is pretty primo as well, because 2 horses spawn back by this second spot. There's also an assorted biscuits and a baked beans. I didn't count the baked beans in provisions looted, but I did count those assorted biscuits. Is that something the horses drop? I kind of forgot to remove it from the numbers, but it doesn't really matter anyways. I mean, I picked up 90 provisions in 45 minutes, along with 81 tonics. 81 tonics! And $33. Almost $34 in 44 minutes and 14 seconds. Now, this is another spot between these 2 cactuses. And this spot comes into play later, okay? And I pulled the horse a little too forward here. Okay, so something to keep in mind when you're trying to line these horses up, you're not trying to line it up so the horse can't kick you. You're trying to line it up so you can't get to the saddlebag and perform the proper animation to loot. You're trying to block your character from getting to the saddlebag. If you can loot it without your character properly getting to the saddlebag, then that negates the horse's ability to kick you. We're not dealing with a live animal that just can't kick around something. We're dealing with a computer. And in order to get these horses to respawn, what I do is I run into this house here. You'll see in a moment, it just respawns them. Sometimes you have to run in and out a couple times. Sometimes I wait a couple seconds. Sometimes I wait several seconds. I don't really figure it out exactly how the respawn works on these. I just know that you can run inside that house, into that back room where the bedroom is, and come out, and horses will respawn more often than not. Now, okay, so this is the 3rd location I've shown you. I think the 3rd location where you can loot. No, this is the 4th. This is the 4th location now. I've shown you the cactus. I showed you where the first one kicked me. I showed you back by where the 2 spawn, and now I showed you that 4th location. And as you can see, after looting the horse, I just ran inside the building, and I ran back out, and there's another horse back here. It's pretty quick and simple. However, the majority of the time I'm noticing, while I did this video, that I'm only getting one horse. I'm lucky if I get two when I just run inside the house and come back out. And before I realized I could run in the house and run back out, I was taking one of these horses and I was running off and going around a cactus down the road. I say I didn't line it up right here. And I was going down the road and coming back, and there were usually two, but frequently three horses. So if it takes me a little longer running down around a cactus and coming back, but I'm getting two, but often three horses instead of one, but sometimes two, then I think you're better off possibly running down around the cactus and coming back. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be making another video where I go looting these for 45 minutes straight. However, I might, because, just curiosity gets the best of me sometimes. And I've been running this method quite a bit the last couple days. I am really enjoying the tonics and the provisions, because when I go into showdowns, what I'm doing is I base, like, when it's time for me to play showdowns off of when I've maxed out on either the miracle tonics or the snake oils or the Indian tobacco, or even sometimes the potent health cure or the health cure, but not those often. Like, if I max out on potent health cure and I haven't maxed out on something to increase my dead eye, then I'll resort to potent snake oil in order to burn up some of my health cures in showdowns, so that when I'm looting these horses, I'm never full on any of the tonics that they drop. And I'm going to show you later in the end of the video what tonics and what provisions they drop. And from this point on, there's not much to add as far as the looting technique. So I'm putting a 2,000% time lapse in order for us to get through the entire 44 minutes of me looting these horses. Because I'm actually showing you from start to finish the entire 44 minutes of looting in just this 11-minute video. And the beginning of the video was footage over from Emerald Station. So, we're really cutting through this really fast. But, normally I could even cut it out and just skip ahead. But I really want to show you guys the difference between when I'm running into the house versus when I take the horse and run it down around the cactus and come back. And another thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be running the horse down around the cactus and coming back in order to respawn, you can keep your eyes open for pheasants. There are pheasants in the area which will have animal fat. There are also pigs, which I've heard at night, which will have animal fat. There's condors that fly around. I believe there's vultures as well. I'm not 100% sure if I've seen vultures. I think I have. But, if you have your varmint rifle equipped, while you're doing this, you can farm some feathers, make some extra cash that way. There's various things you can do. Now, you also will often run into other NPCs on the trail. I wouldn't recommend stealing their horses. I find if I steal an NPC's horse, that tends to affect the spawn rate of the horses at this hideout. Oh, and this is a gang hideout, by the way. You might come here and find NPCs to clear out, because this is a gang hideout. Even that's, another thing to consider is when you're running away in order to get them to respawn, you might have a possibility of triggering a gang hideout while doing it, earning some extra XP, maybe even looting a treasure map. Who knows, if you're really lucky. So now I'm going to show you running down around the cactus and coming back for the respawn. Now, I don't know exactly how far you have to run down. I just picked a spot the day I started checking this location out, and this was it. The spot I picked didn't work really well for me, so I haven't really bothered testing any other locations. And how I came across this spot was I free roamed to New Austin, and I had been looting horses at Emerald Station. And I knew before in the past I had seen horses here but no NPCs, but I hadn't made it over here to really check. And I was free roaming to New Austin in order to loot horses at Tumbleweed because I was tired of Emerald Station not spawning horses anymore for me because I kept running into players over there and that was affecting the spawn rate. And I just happened to spawn in at this spot, so I tested it out some. And it just was marvelous. It really was. And I'm kind of a little concerned because one of the things that this is great about this spot and why it works so well is there's no other people around. If other people show up, that's going to put a real damper on the effectiveness of getting these horses to respawn. People might be fighting over horses, things of that nature, which would be a real shame. And putting this out on YouTube, I'm afraid one day it could lead to that happening. But in the meantime, all those that watch this video and get in early on it can really enjoy it and take advantage of it. So, hope that you're going to be one of those people. Get in early on it and enjoy this method. You can see I just listed up everything that I looted in that 44-minute period. 11 snake oil, 18 chewing tobacco, 8 miracle tonic, 7 open miracle tonic, 10 potent health cure, 15 health cure, 8 open health cure, tons of provisions, including 38 liquors, which are great for giving you back that Deadeye core in PvP. Salted beef and venison, again, great for that Deadeye core in PvP. This is like a perfect method for in between showdowns. Combine this with your potent snake oil pamphlet, crafting over it in Valentine, and you're just good to go. Just run showdowns like mad fire, burn tonics like they're water. Thanks everyone for viewing. I hope you enjoy this method. I'll catch you down in the comments. Thanks for subscribing too. Thanks for liking, sharing, and especially thank you everyone for joining. I'll catch you next time. Until then, happy hunting and happy trails.